Hello, this is Uploading Your Observations to Teaching Strategies Gold. I'm Joanna Spotts, and I am the Teaching Strategies Gold Coordinator at an early education and care center in Vermont. And my job is to take observations of students who receive funding through Act 166 and put them into Teaching Strategies Gold and document them and level them and send them off to the state. And I currently have a caseload of about 100 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. So today we're going to basically turn our observations of students into documentation in TSG. So we're going to enter them, we're going to get the dimensions and objectives, we're going to level, and then if we need to, we'll view and edit our documentation. Before we get started, I wanted to talk about a few things that get asked of me a lot, and I think that knowing these things ahead of time will help make the work with the website a little bit clearer. We need to remember that our observations, when we write them down, are short and to the point, and we need to make sure that we are only writing down what we can see and hear. We're not going to write down feelings unless the child expresses them. So we're not going to write that Johnny looked sad. If Johnny says, I'm sad, we can write that. But we're not going to kind of guess at the feelings that the children have. We need to remember that objectives are the large groups that we are going to look at, the large group of skills. So social emotional skills, language skills, and that sort of thing. And the dimension is the more specific kind of piece to that objective. So the things that kind of add up to make the objective. And please remember that while I prefer to use a desktop or a laptop, any web-capable device that you're comfortable working with will work for entering TSG. So let's take a look at how to do this. We are all logged in, and we are going to start by going to the Add Documentation quick link right here with the pencil. And it is the same as this assess key right here. And you can see we are in the Add Documentation section. First, we are going to add the date, and that can go back as far as you need it to. So don't feel like you have to constantly be adding. You can add a few each day. We're going to select our student. If you're doing the whole class or multiple students, you can do select all, and you can click on whichever other students that you need to. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to add your notes. And I have, to save some time, already put my notes in. So here Alexis was playing an alphabet game with 3 peers. They each took turns choosing and identifying uppercase letters. Alexis identified ALEXISWTF. So we're going to come down here to assign objectives and dimensions. So here on this side, we can see all of our different objectives, the different large groupings of skills. And we're going to come and look at the social emotional first. And she interacted with peers because she's playing a game with them. And because she's working with peers, and she's working cooperatively in a group of peers. We're going to click 3A as well. It balances needs and rights of self and others. And because she was doing an alphabet game, we're going to come down here and look at what she was identifying of names and naming letters. So then we're going to come over here and save and continue. And on this right side, you can guys kind of see a quick summary of everything you've put in so far. Save and continue. And here's where we're going to level. Here's what we're talking about here. Remember, this is a progression. And here we have our notes if we need to look at what we wrote. She was playing a game with the 3 peers, so I think we can come over here and choose number 6, level 6. Initiates, joins in, and sustains positive interactions with a small group of 2 or 3 children. So she's playing with herself, herself is in the game, and she's also playing with 3 peers. So I think we're going to choose this one. This seems like it was a very good match to what we're talking about. We're going to go to next. And here we notice that in balancing needs of and rights of self and others, taking turns. So we're not going to come over to here to 6 because she's not sharing. It doesn't say anything about sharing anything, but it says she does take turns. So we're going to click on this button right here and go next. And we're going to go, it recognizes and names as many as 10 letters, especially those in own name. Well, we see here she did ALEXISWTF, which is 9 letters. So it is as many as 10, not quite 10, but getting close. She didn't do any lowercase, so this one is not going to be a choice. But she didn't get as many as 10, so I don't think we're going to choose 5. I think we're just going to go with 4 because most of the letters she knew were in her own name. Then we're going to save and close, and that's it. We've entered some documentation. If you want to see what it looks like, here's our summary on the right again. Here's our objectives and dimensions and what we rated them or leveled them as, and there's our notes. If you need to, you can edit documentation, and it will take you right back to the beginning. Or we can view all of the documentation that we've entered. And here are a bunch of documentations, and you can see the rainbow means you've chosen the objectives and dimensions, and the check mark means you have leveled them. If you see any with an orange circle instead of a check mark, I think I have 1 or 2 down here. Nope, page 2, I guess. I'm all caught up on that page anyway. Here we go. So this one has not been leveled yet. So make sure you are leveling your observations because you are the only one who can do that. No one can edit your work but you. So that is how to enter. It's pretty easy, pretty quick, and as long as you're focused. And I think you'll be able to do it. It took me a little bit, but I figured it out, and now I'm a whiz. So I hope that you have a great time entering your documentation. Okay. If you'd like to learn more about TSG, about how the program works, or just more about the different objectives and dimensions within the program, I suggest taking a look at the Objectives for Development and Learning manual that TSG has written. Whoever admins your TSG program should have a copy of this. I think it's a great resource. There is pictures of all of that, the progressions that we saw on the website, and it is a great way to learn even just kind of the brain development and science behind the different objectives and dimensions. Also, something that's really great is the website itself has, under the development tab, or the develop tab, just a lot of really nice video tutorials on how to use the program. And I do believe there are even a few videos that you can watch for some professional development hours, depending on your location. And also, depending on your location, your state might offer a training specifically for TSG. That is where I learned. This course in Vermont anyway is 16 hours. It is 2 8-hour Saturdays, and it is really in depth, and it really went through every step from observing the child to how to write things down, to say objective, all the way through finalizing the checkpoints at the end. So that was a great resource. Also, if you have a TSG coordinator or administrator, they are a great resource for you as well. I happen to be the TSG coordinator for my site. And even if you're not at my center, please, if you have questions, comments, suggestions, anything you want to learn, please reach out. I really enjoy talking TSG. I get a little bit nerd out, fangirl for that, but that's who I am, and I hope that I can spread some of that around and just help you to just embrace the TSG and what it can do for your center and your teaching. So hope to hear from you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.